Hey Miami! Right now at VisionWorks, all prescription eyewear, every frame, every brand is 50% off. Yup, a nifty 50% thanks to our friends and family event. What's even better, it applies to both glasses and sunglasses. That's right. At the VisionWorks Friends and Family event, you can save 50% on all prescription eyewear. Why? Because we like you, Miami. A lot. VisionWorks, we're here to help you. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
Are you cool? Well, I'm cool. This is the Metal Hammer of Doom, and I am your host, the mandated reporter, and frankly, I'm mortified, Mr. Mark Radulich, and this is it. This is the main event. This is what we've all been waiting for all year long. We here on the Metal Hammer of Doom have been waiting for a new release from the greatest band in the history of music, the greatest band in the history of metal. Ladies and gentlemen, from Maryland, this is Clutch and their newest release, The Book of Bad Decisions. Yes, sir. And here to, of course, help me talk about that, he's here to help to teach you how to shake hands. He's all about straight talking, no jive. Ladies and gentlemen, the man that's keep this train on the track and moving along all these weeks, Jesse Starcher, how do you do, sir?
Well, let's get hot. Oh, my goodness, Mark Radulich. I cannot wait to discuss our album tonight. This is what I longed to be part of the Metal Hammer of Doom for. Ever since I heard you guys talk about the retrospective that you did, the coverage of I can't remember which one it was. I think it might have been Earth Rocker. I got to listen to that, and I was like, I've got to be a part of this someday, somehow. And tonight I lived the dream. And thank goodness we aren't alone.
No, the prodigal son has returned. Ladies and gentlemen, he is one hot bottom feeder. When you say a cat 5 is on the way, he says that's all right. I just got myself a new cat from an alley somewhere. Ladies and gentlemen,
he says bring on cat 12.
That's right. Cat 5. I've already got cat 12. Ladies and gentlemen, the second chair has returned after being absent all these weeks. It's Robert Cooper, the Metal Coop. How do you do, sir?
I mean, technically, Cat 5, bitch, I've done it twice, because I've got 12 now. It's great. I mean, I coaxed the cat out with a fucking piece of ham, grabbed it, and it just sat under my passenger seat, meowing and meowing and meowing, and while I fed it ham. It's great. You know, if only my luck at grabbing women were as good as my luck at grabbing cats.
Yeah,
that sounded really bad.
I was going to say, it's like, for a man who gets lots of pussy, you don't have a lot of girlfriends. That's the problem.
Yeah, you know, that's a joke I make all the time. They're really cool. Like, when I'm like, I got 12 cats. And they're like, oh, I guess you're, and I said, yes, surrounded by pussy. And they look at me, I'm like, how many times do you think I've made this fucking joke?
Where you been, man? What the fuck? What's been going on? Why you missing all these shows?
Well, let's see. Last time I was going to be on, no, the last time in like fucking August, I got like immediately ghosted by this hot girl who had blocked me on all social media. I don't know what I did. So I went and hung out with Nick, who we need to get on this podcast someday.
There we go. Everybody drank.
Which he is now in Ohio. So
What's he doing up here?
Is he next?
Green.
Is he next door to Jesse at the legendary Langford, Ohio?
How far are you from Bowling Green?
He's a bit north. I'm right on the border of West Virginia, so he probably took 77 and strolled right past Marietta. But
if I ever come and visit him, I'll just have to come and visit you too.
well, damn, hell yeah, bro.
Yeah, he moved. He's getting his doctorate at Bowling Green. Mostly a free ride, so hey, not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah, then I closed, and then last week, which I left a written review for that shit-tastic album from Bullet for My Valentine. Good God, it's like Chester Bennington killed himself, and they were like, you know what, we need to bring back Linkin Park. Like that's how that whole album felt. But yeah, and then I just roamed around downtown. Met this black guy named Mr. James in an art gallery. And then he taught me how to blues dance when I ran into him later. It's weird, but not really. It kind of was, because he was just as big as I was. So it's like these two giant men blues dancing in an art gallery at 1:30 in the morning while he's drunk on boxed wine.
Wonderful.
I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you to say. And that night we did ecstasy at some Puerto Rican girl's quinceañera. I'm Peter Griffin, and these are my stories. That's a Family Guy joke, everybody. All right, let's not
take
waste
a drink.
Let's not waste any more time here. Let's get into it. We don't need to do the preamble of what brought you to Clutch, because we know what brought you to Clutch. They're the best fucking band ever. We've done 2 of their albums already. Plus, we reviewed Earth Rocker. We reviewed what was it? Psychic Warfare.
Psychic Warfare. Mm-hmm.
And we did 2 retrospectives. We did one of their major releases. Then we did a second one of deep cuts. So we're just strolling along here on the Clutch tour. It's all right. It's all good. I'm really excited about this album. Jesse and I, we kept the show going while Robert was unable to be with us, and we've hit some. We've definitely had some hits, but we've definitely had some misses. But I'll tell you right now, I would not be. I don't think I'd be too far out there to say this might be the best thing we've listened to all year.
Okay, well that's some big words. We already had a discussion there last week about how we were going to go into this week ranking the album, and if we can be unbiased. So Coop, you came to Clutch a little bit later than we did, so we may have to rely on you to give us a bit of an unbiased opinion. I'm not saying what we're saying is false. I'm just saying that, listen, we love the band, and it's tough to divorce that love from actual critique sometimes. And
here's what I'm going to tell you. The first couple of tracks, and you're like, all right, it's all right. It's okay, it's all night. Fuck all day, fuck all night. That's cool. Then you get to In Walks Barbarella in Vision Quest, and and then forget it. It's over. The year's over. 2018.
The year's over.
2018 ends with Vision Quest. We're done.
Oh, wow.
There's nothing. It's not getting better than that. So
okay,
that's how I feel about it. Just kind of give away where I stand on this album. But that people listening be like, Clutch, they're all right. He's making way too big a deal out of this. We'll see, ladies and gentlemen, my little pretties. All right, so here we go. This was the first single they released off of this, if I remember correctly. We've been keeping track with the videos. And if you want to hear us talk about some of our videos, we did 3 Metal Hammer of Doom extras. We did one on a Shogun named Marcus. And then we did the Bam Margera directed Mob Goes Wild. Underboob, Fuck the World. And then finally we did How to Shake Hands. But like I said, this is the first single they released. They did a lyric video, I believe, for this one as well. This here is Gimme the Keys.
blinding rays of the sun deep in the heart of July. There to perform for children of corn whose crops stood well 12 foot high. 3 names remain to the end of the day. We refuse their violent treats. Standing our ground, we played for the years between the harvester's teeth. Great plains, harbor cities, men are bitter beaters, but Lord, they're mean. And though my mind is playing, I shot to hell. The details of the night I remember well. Gravel and locusts, they swore to rope us. We did our best to steer straight. Trailer and hit straight into the ditch, praying to Jesus and the holy saints. Despite the violence, sometimes I look back on nostalgia begins to take hold. Wisdom of sorts is found in due course in the rows of silver and gold. Great plains, harbor cities, men are bitter biggest, but Lord, they're mean. And though my mind is playing, I'm shot to hell. The details of the night I remember well.
Alrighty. You know, I tell you, if somebody would ask me, hey, what does Clutch sound like? I would just play him that song. That's,
Oh, yeah?
That is the quintessential Clutch sound for like the past 5 albums.
Yeah, I can't disagree. It's very representative of what the band usually sounds like. They drift into different, into different stylings throughout some of their tracks, but this is a good showing of what you're usually going to get.
Say, this is the bass sound. I feel like this is where they start, and then they drift into gospel, or they drift into country, or they drift into punk. But this right here is what was the name of the album with The Mob Goes Wild on it?
That would have been. Hold on a second, I could tell you. Yeah, we're great Clutch fans here, ladies and gentlemen. When we can't remember the damn, was that right there was Blast Tyrant, sir.
Blast Tyrant. So, like, from Blast Tyrant on, I feel like this has been their bass sound. So I think it's I think it's a good way to kick off the album. There's nothing particularly special about it, but I feel like, you know, like as many Clutch shows as I've been to, as many albums as I've reviewed and I've listened to, I feel like this is where they start in the writing process. This is where they start from, and then either they kind of stay along that path or they zip off into some weirdo direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just want to throw this in real quick. I think this was our good buddy Josh Calandros. He had one complaint about one of the videos that was released. He couldn't remember which one, which we pretty much narrowed it down. It was this song. He believed that the word that he used, it sounded muffled.
It wasn't enough. It wasn't communist enough for him.
I didn't ask him about his politics, sir. He just said it sounded muffled. But I don't know if you get that vibe or not. What do you think?
What do you think, Coop?
What do I think? That's a very good question.
Oh, here we go.
Bane has arrived.
I think that they have lots of different musical influences and like to put them in a pot and then make the music, Batman.
Thank you, Bane.
I like the way you always... you're welcome. I like the way you put it. Like, you know, there ain't no singing from that microphone. It's preaching. Preaching from the pulpit.
Yeah.
But I like the way that it's always... I like the way that Clutch presents the music. Because, like, gospel does very little for me usually. But when I feel like when you almost move it into a up-tempo sort of rock sound, I think it works. I really dig it. And this song's like really... It really grows on me. Like, the first time I was like, oh, okay, that's Clutch. But the more I listen to it, I'm like, yeah, listen to this fucking shit. It's like, it's like off the fucking chain.
I told Jesse, and I feel like you'll hear this more once you get to Vision Quest and some of the other songs down the line, but I feel like this had sort of the spirit of Jerry Lee Lewis in it. You know, this definitely has, I feel like, at its roots, some of that, like, southern, I'm not entirely sure what you would even categorize Jerry Lee Lewis as, but, you know, it's...
Was he a rockabilly?
Yeah, thank you, rockabilly. It has this rockabilly essence to it, and then it just, they build on top of that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's pervasive throughout the entire album.
When we get to Vision Quest, people, you're going to hear exactly what Mark's talking about. You'll know right there because it is a perfect example of Jerry Lee Lewis. Because I realized that, oh yeah, Vision Quest is exactly what he's talking about. So yeah, we'll get to that. But I hear you, man. There's elements of that throughout this album.
Mm-hmm. Every song feels like Clutch should be playing behind a fence and beer bottles should be flying through the air.
And the mob goes wild.
All right, speaking of the mob going wild, ladies and gentlemen, this is the year I was born. This is The Spirit of 76. We were such a tender age. My, oh my, what a wonderful day. Spirit of 76 takes us back to the early Clutch, if you ask me. That guitar that guitar lick, especially right at the beginning there, it takes you right back to Transnational Speedway. But, you know, it still got, you know, it still keeps to the theme that we were talking earlier. You know, it's probably... See, like I said, everything has a base, and then it drifts in a different direction. This drifts to the more harder Clutch, but it doesn't have that frenetic beat that you would associate with older Clutch. You know, the more punk influenced Clutch. So, I'm thinking that guitar lick took me right back to Transnational. But you could also say that could have very easily fit right on Clutch, the self-titled album.
Yeah, I'd agree there. There was a point in the morning. Now, see, let me set the scene for you here real quick. My daughter
was dancing naked around the house.
No, that's your son.
Oh my!
And you put him up to it, Mark Radulich. So
I did.
I don't want to hear nothing about it.
I led him astray.
So, usually in the mornings, my daughter's got me listening to BTS, and the most recent BTS album dropped. Okay, now I don't expect most of you to.
What's BTS?
BTS is a Korean pop group, and they have They have exploded amongst the teeny bopper scene apparently, and Kira's a big fan.
So now,
so
now white kids are into Korean pop.
There's
Well, more white kids are, because quite frankly, most of the kids.
most Koreans are white. Mark Radulich.
Were white kids. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't see color.
So she's having me listen to the new album. Well, Clutch drops, and I said, Kira, you have to experience this album with me. Me and her and I listened to the album for the first time together. Okay. Now, first song we just covered. I had already been exposed to it, listened to it a good bit. I was excited to hear it. Second song, Spirit of 76. I can tell you that I all of a sudden was not. I was fearful what was going to come next on the album, because I was not into this song. And as I've said on previous reviews, I like my Clutch fast. The Regulator's a good song. Everybody seems to love The Regulator. I'm not a big fan.
Because it's amazing.
Okay, thanks.
I mean, we're all allowed to be wrong.
Yeah, apparently. I'm not a big fan of it because they slow things down, and it's just not my style. So Spirit of 76 really felt like they switched gears, slowed it down, and just like you said, there's not a frenetic pace to this. It could fit on Clutch. I can see that fitting on there, but this would not be one of my favorite songs off that album or this album. Actually, I think this is the weakest song off this album, in my opinion. But I do want to. I'll give it some props. Clutch is good for involving history into a lot of their songs. As a matter of fact, that first song was about a chapter in their lives as they were growing. If you watch the video, you can see it's talking about the early days of the band. Spirit of 76, they're jumping obviously into some year. I don't know if it's 1776. They're talking about Indians here at some point, so that's my guess. Or maybe 1876. I don't think it's 1976, Mark Radulich, I'm afraid. But regardless, here we got the history element that they're so famous for bringing into their songs. All right, Coop, I turn it over to you.
I don't mind mid-tempo Clutch. I admit I really like them fast. But like one of my favorite Clutch songs I can remember is Gone Cold. Like that song's just like fucking smoky, man.
Mm-hmm.
A professional way to put it. I mean, this song really kind of just felt like a Clutch song. Quite frankly, like it didn't really necessarily stand out in the annals of their musical repertoire, but it's one of those that was enjoyable. I liked it. I felt like it was a good time. It just, it felt like a good Clutch song. Yeah.
I'll tell you, when Earth Rocker came out, Earth Rocker kind of had like a kind of start to it. The first couple of tracks on there, I'm like, yeah, this all sounds like Clutch. None of it's bad, but none of it wowed me. Then you get the DC sound attack. It's about midway through.
Yeah, and your mind gets fucking blown.
And in the words of Dennis Hopper, I'll fuck anything that moves. That's what happens with that song.
Bringing that back.
Yep. Before we started the show tonight, I took a nap so that I would be ready for the show tonight, and they said, "Hey, how you feeling tonight?" Radulich, and I said, let's fuck. I'll fuck anything that moves. And then had to explain that that's a Dennis Hopper line from Blue Velvet.
I just thought you were happy to see me.
Well, that too. Anyway, speaking of happy to see you, this here is the book of bad decisions.
One road to the east, another to the west. In a fit of desperation, in the dark I saw redress. As the clouds began to gather, oh, how well like a newborn babe. And over the road
Oh my goodness. Dude, the guitar work on that one. Like, I know the conversation on this album revolves around, like, well, when's it going to pick up? When are we going to get that, X-ray visions? When are we going to get that Mob Goes Wild kind of feel to things? And I get that, but oh, come on. That was such smooth, bluesy, crunchy guitar work in there. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, I will not deny you that in any way, because this is probably one of my favorite songs off of here. It's blues, and dude, the guitar solos are just so fun to listen to. Mm-hmm. I'll take Clutch doing blues anytime. Seriously.
Yeah.
Do that all you want.
I normally don't play solos. That's usually where I'll cut the song off for time. But like, that was so good. I mean, that is the star of the song right there. Is that solo?
Mm-hmm.
It's just my God, it's just a chunky song.
I mean, listen to this. Let's talk lyrics, okay? We know how much we pride Neil Fallon dropping some lyrics on us. One road led to the east, another to the west. In a fit of desperation, in the dark, I sought redress. Gosh.
He's the great American poet, Neil Fallon.
That's the truth.
See, I thought you were doing Ice-T's version of 99 Problems. I got a bitch in the east, I got a bitch in the west. I got a bitch that loves to jack me off and put it in her chest.
Speaking of a book of bad decisions,
I got a bitch. I got a bitch in the east. I got a bitch in the west. I got a bitch in the pit.
Oh, that's a classic. You know what's funny? The entire time I'm listening to this song, all I could think of is that movie from about 1995. Was it Babe?
a pig.
I can think of is just he's like, I was a newborn babe. I'm like, but when is he gonna be Babe 2? Big in the big city.
Oh yeah.
When's he gonna be Bacon? That's my question.
I hate bacon so much.
Get the fuck off my podcast.
Did you not know this about me?
No.
Like, I hate. God, I don't like bacon, coffee, oranges.
This is why you don't have a girlfriend. You're into cats and not bacon. That's the problem.
I'm into cats, heavy metal, anime, and not bacon. Like, and I don't like dark chocolate. Like, my list of food I don't like is weird.
That's like the exact opposite of shit I love.
Yeah, I don't understand you at all, sir.
I just had like a really nasty, too much, like way too much for anybody to hear comments. I'm not going to make that joke. You know it's bad when my head goes, ooh, I don't think the listeners want to hear that.
All right.
Let's just put it like this. Ladies love me for that.
I don't know what's happened to this.
Dude,
I don't know what's happened to this podcast, but I don't like it. Go ahead.
But no, like this song, I admit, Mark does a really good job of selling me on some of these songs, because this song was another one that, I mean, the hook of it got me. The cadence of it was really different, but it didn't necessarily stand out as a song that I really felt that I would return to. Again, I'm kind of with Jesse on fast clutch is my shit. Like, I like it fast and bluesy, but in more your harmonica way, not as much of the
rockabilly
kind of blues guitar.
When it's hard rockabilly, that's really when they hit their stride. When you have that confluence of rockabilly and blues and punk, and it all just meshes together in that pure, authentic Clutch sound. That's, I think, what we're all kind of waiting for, and it's coming.
That reminds me. Now all of a sudden I'm kind of worried. Do we get the harmonica at all on this album?
Ask me again. Ask me again after In Walks Barbarella and Vision Quest.
I tried to watch Barbarella once. You know what? Like, channel actually, like, in my middle school years, formed my sense of film only because it was uncensored and I could see titties. IFC.
Was it Blue Velvet?
IFC.
Oh, dude, Blue Velvet was on there, man. Like, they showed fucking Kurosawa films. I watched some straight up great films just because it had an N on the content warning.
When you go to work tomorrow, you should actually walk in and just yell out, "Let's fuck! I'll fuck anything that moves."
Jeez.
You know what's really funny is when I worked on the floor, I could get away with that. Like, I could walk into the break room and go, "All right, guys, let's fuck. I'll fuck anything that moves." And then the first person that does, I'm like, "Ha ha!"
You know, as a listener to this podcast, you have to ask yourself, like, all right, so they're reviewing Clutch tonight. What weird thing that doesn't connect at all are they going to be obsessed about and not stop talking about the entire podcast? Tonight, it's Blue Velvet. Next week, who knows?
I mean, I don't know what my schedule is next week. We'll have to see. Because I found out that the store doesn't work if I'm not closing. Because, God damn it, am I good at it.
Yeah, that's the problem with my job too. If I'm not there, nobody does anything. Like, people, they may have a body sitting in central booking, but they're not doing anything. They're essentially keeping my seat warm, as I've come to find out.
Yeah, like I felt awful because get this. So we just hired 3 new managers. But you have to go through all your training before you can get like your key and your like override call, before you can get your real manager stuff. So until then, you're just kind of a body that's learning how to manage. Well, we have 3 of them all at once, and I had to close with one. It is like closing by yourself because they can't do anything and they don't want to make any decisions.
Nice.
But the guy tonight, he is closing with all 3 of them at the same time. I'm like, oh, bless. I looked at him and said, oh, bless your pumpkin pie heart there, Ted.
When is the hurricane expected to hit?
That's the thing. I've heard it was Thursday. Now they bumped it to like Friday. But I've heard Sunday or Saturday. Because if it's Sunday, I can go see Neo Obliviscaris without worrying about my little Mazda 3 going and floating down the fucking river.
That being blown to Oz.
Even though there's no fucking rivers in Greensboro, really. But, because, it's them and Winter Sun, and that concert is going to be fucking titties. Like, oh my God. But, yeah, I'm a little worried that, I may, I may fuck myself over and, go and then get stuck.
All right, this next song, we did a Metal Hammer of Doom extra on, and I used it a little bit as my intro tonight into the show. It's so good. This is one of those quirky Clutch songs where it's hard to place, it's hard to describe, but it's great fun. And if nothing else, you gotta see the video for it. The video for it is hilarious. This is How to Shake Hands. Make America Great Again, Neil.
Are you cool? Well, I'm cool. Is everybody cool? Well, let's get hot. Grassroots all across this great nation. And I am truly humbled and gratefully accept the nomination. I'm gonna be president of the United States. Posters in Alabama, rock it down, and save the date. Live music in the White House, strictly BYOB. The public wanna get down, it is our collective destiny. I'm gonna kiss all the babies, maybe kiss the mamas too. I don't need the Secret Service, I know how to walk a room. I'm gonna be president of the United States. I was born to be president of these United States. On the day I was born, all the nurses and doctors take the boy out of his crib and put him in the executive office. First thing that I'm gonna do is disclose all those UFOs. Put Jimi Hendrix on a $20 bill and Bill Hicks on a 5 note. Hot damn, the democratic process, what a time to be alive. Oh, I'm ready to give the people what they want, and what they want is straight talk and no jive.
I said it before, and I'll say it again. That's the only part of the song I disagree with, and I have a real problem with. I don't believe what they want is straight talk and no jive. I'm pretty sure all they want is jive and no straight talk.
Yeah, quite frankly, I don't think anybody wants straight talk. I mean, the coverage on that promotion is bullshit.
This song is fantastic. We talked about, Jesse and I talked about this on the Metal Hammer of Doom Extra, how this is absolutely a reaction to the Trump presidency, but more I think in the way of how you can get somebody who really is not qualified to be an executive officer of the United States, but can get by.
Here we are.
But can get by on just pure charisma.
What? When you put fucking 15 points in charisma and you roll straight 20s, by God, you're going to get your way onto the throne. He's got a solid, like a 6 in intelligence, but fuck, he keeps making them saving throws.
Man, I'll tell you right now, if Neil Fallon said, hey, this is the ticket, this is what I'm running for, ladies and gentlemen, if you vote for me, UFOs are disclosed. Jimi Hendrix is on the $20 bill. Bill Hicks is on $5 bill. All right, ladies and gentlemen, bring your own beer to the White House. He's got my fucking vote. Okay? I don't understand what the problem is.
That's his whole platform. He's gonna, and then later on, he's gonna take a ride on a UFO.
Oh, please bring that shit on.
And to paraphrase Patton Oswalt, if Neil Fallon were to become president and take a ride on a UFO, would we be any worse off than we are right now?
Nowhere to go but up.
But do you think he's going to invite Rob Zombie on that UFO?
Oh, everybody will be fucking on a UFO if Rob Zombie's there.
I think Neil Fallon is a better man than that. He knows better.
Because everybody's fucking in a UFO.
Oh, I remember fucking Christmas Eve. We finished watching Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. I'm sitting at Nick's house with his girlfriend, and I'm like, hey, Nick, you want to see giant dick aliens and Rob Zombie? He goes, fuck yeah, Coop. So we rang in Christmas with everybody's fucking in the UFO.
Oh, gee.
And then I decided to really just cap it off with throwing on Aurora Borealis, which is a fucking black metal band. So we're just sitting there as it hits 12, just sort of,
Wow.
Terrific.
Oh yeah.
So what did what did you actually think of the song? Just out of curiosity, since we are doing a review.
This fucking song, like, it makes me want to, like, fucking just drop my pants and just start dancing. Like, it is my fucking shit.
At what point have you ever heard anybody recently say, hot damn, the democratic process?
What a time to be alive.
I go around the house saying that now.
Do you?
Because I can.
Hot damn, do your homework. Hot damn.
Yes,
that's good stuff.
I think I get away with it.
Oh, wow.
Like, I looked at her, I'm like, hey, boss, want to hear how I got a cat? And she goes, Cooper, at 6 in the morning. I haven't had my coffee. Continue. Like, that's the funny thing. I'm not a morning person, but because I'm always hyped up on adrenaline and an energy drink, by the time I hit the door, I'm like, all right, let's get this fucking shit knocked out. And then by noon, I'm just like, oh, hang me. It just depends on how many times I've had to get up at 5 a.m. It's like by day number 3, because day 1 you're well rested, day 2 you're starting to drag a little, but day 3 you're just like, oh, kill me. That's why after 2 weeks of doing it, like 10 straight shifts, like that last shift, I was a very nasty person. I told somebody, I have a temper. They're like, I couldn't see you angry. I'm like, see me getting up at 4 a.m. for 2 weeks.
Angry.
I love that. That song is very much. It's driven by two things. Obviously, the lyrics. That is a very lyrically driven song. If you don't get what's going on there, you've really missed the entire point of the song. But it's also driven by the drums. I feel like the drums really push that song forward. What do you think, Jesse?
Neil Fallon. That'll be my answer for every musical critique for the rest of the album. No, seriously, this song itself, I don't know what stands out the most. I'm the guy that's got brought to Clutch because of them singing about aliens, Area 51, Bob Lazar. So to hear him talk about UFOs again just makes me smile. Okay, that's one of the reasons why I love this song, because Neil Fallon not only is going to disclose the UFOs, the motherfucker's going to go for a ride on one as soon as he wins the presidency. So there you go.
I want to go back to that line, hot damn the democratic process, what a time to be alive. I feel like he wrote that election night. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, yeah.
Like, they called the election for...
Do you think he was listening to the Radulich and Broadcasting Network breaks down the fucking 2016 election as he did it?
If
yes.
not, ladies and gentlemen, you can go to find it on YouTube right now.
Which is like Mark just being like, this is great. He's like, oh boy. And just watching me slowly break down into, God, this is what we fucking deserve. Just watching me do the math.
90% of the coverage of that was me going, it was me and Winfrey going, yeah, we called this months ago. We said this was going to happen. We're not surprised at all.
Like, no, wait, guys, no way. No, we can't let this happen. And then I was doing the math. I'm like, no, we're fucked. All right, though. See, he set up a proof plan. He put in Pence. Pence is crazy. Keep in Trump.
Did you feel like you were careening towards a bottomless pit on a high-speed rail there, Uncle Al?
I mean, but do you think he's tired of it?
He's tired of it.
Tired of it.
So I have been telling
Uncle.
So I've been working with some new people, and anytime people come into booking that don't know me, they find out within minutes of talking to me that I have a podcast, and they always want and again, I always laugh at the whole like you have a podcast thing, because the reaction to it is something along the lines of you're a wizard, Harry. You know, like
you're a wizard.
Like, anybody can have a podcast, and most people, at this point, even if you're fucking homeless, have a podcast. Like, it's so easy to do. And so the fact that I have one isn't really that big a deal, but people still act like it is. People are just like, wow, you're famous. Like, no, not really, but...
I like to tell people I was famous when I had infinite time and did 4 podcasts in a week.
So my point of bringing that up was... I was talking to this one new person at the job, and I was like, "What do you She's like, "What's your podcast about?" And I was telling her it's basically like music and TV and movie reviews. That's the sum total of it. And I said, and I've been talking lately about the podcast Jesse and I did on OTAP, because like it spawned like this hour-long gun debate between the two of us, which
was fun.
God, I can't stand OTAP.
Ended with the best line by Jesse, which is, "I'm about tired of them toilet paper in my house."
Get my gun, Ethel.
I have told everybody about that I can find, like strangers on the street. I'm like, you got to hear about the debate I had with this dude.
Over guns.
Over guns.
That's a real unifying topic.
That ended with him wanting to shoot people toilet papering his house.
Like. I wish I would have been there for that.
Oh boy, you go back and listen to our OTEP. That's about as political as I've gotten lately.
Yeah, that's about the most political I've gotten in about 10 years.
Well, except for Snagglepuss, which, by the way, my dad is very interested in listening to our Snagglepuss review.
Oh, please tell him to let us know what he thinks.
Yeah, he called me up. He was like, "Do you have?" Like, he saw the advertisement for it that that we put up. And when he realized what it was, he was like, he called me and was like, "Do you have a copy of that Snagglepuss?" Like he was asking me for like some some band material.
Like fucking booze in prison or something.
Yeah,
I'm very surprised.
He was very excited about this. He was just, well, I told you my dad's a homo and a communist. So
right up his alley.
Yeah, they wrote Snagglepuss for him. Like, Ronnie wanted to know why. Why would you do this? Because of Christopher Radulich. That's why. So
that's great.
So he calls me. He's like, "Do you have a copy of that Snagglepuss?" He's like, "Yo, you got that Snagglepuss?"
You should just start dropping some sick beats. You're like, you know what, Dad? I got to fucking snuggle, push.
Oh, Huckleberry Hound up in this piece. All right. Anyway, I'm like, no, I went to read comics online. You'll have to do that yourself. And he's like, oh, okay. And then
And
I was
he's
like,
like, whoa, how have you not told me about read comics online? And
That's
you're like,
kind of
yeah,
was
Jesse
his.
didn't tell me about it for fucking years.
That's kind of what his reaction was. He was just like, "Wait a minute, you like you can read all these comics just for free." And I'm like, "Yeah, you got to put a bunch of ad blockers up, but yes, essentially you can." He was just like, "Why haven't you told me about this before?" I don't know. I only learned about it from Jesse last week. So,
Fuck you,
Well,
Mark.
Jesse's just like, you see like a vein in his head bulging. He's like, motherfucker, I showed you that fucking 10 years ago.
but yeah, then I told him like you got to listen to our review of it. So I'll be curious to see what he thinks because he's very familiar with all that stuff that we talked about, like McCarthyism, the Red Scare, and all that. So
Good.
I'll be curious to see.
Good.
I'll be curious to see what his critique of our critique is. Even.
You think he's going to
His critique, even.
All right, folks. Here we are. This is the master of puppets of this album.
Master of Puppet?
This next song is so good. Honestly, if you don't like this next song, you're dead inside. There's no hope for you. This is
You're dead to us.
this is In Walks Barbarella.
Heard you got detention 3 times this week. Playing with the bad kids down by the creek. When I was your age, oh, I did the same. I saved you some trouble, boy, and tried to explain. Down, track the beans, weaponized fun. In walks Barbarella. Set to stun, death down, trap beams, gamma ray gun, straight out the mothership, weaponized funk. Let me back up 20 years or so. Before I met your mama, I was living on the road. I made a bail from the astral planes. Hopped in my 710, I was never quite the same. Defcon, trap the beams, weaponized funk. In walks Barbarella, set to stun. Defcon, trap the beams, gamma ray guns, straight out the mothership. Weaponized funk.
Hot damn. What a time to be alive. That's the best. That's so good. And here's the thing that makes me want to cry is they're coming to Florida, but they're coming like on a Tuesday, and I can't fucking hack it anymore. I just, especially like if it was in Tampa, I might try, but I can't hoof it to Orlando and then get up the next morning for work. But there's a part of me that's like, that's fine because they're never going to play that live. Like, they're not dragging out a horn section for this.
No, what you're really going to regret is the fact that they bring the horn section and they add the horn section to every other song that they play that night.
And I will fucking cut my fucking penis off. I'll be so... it won't be worth living anymore if that happens.
Oh my... Dude,
Dude,
if they did that,
if-
I mean, wow.
Look, I've said a long time ago that Clutch needed to do like a night at the Opry. You know, just go down to Nashville, Tennessee, and book a gig at the Opry, and play a set like they did years ago, a night with Clutch, where it's just 2 sets back to back with an intermission. But if they did that and they went back though and added a horn and a harmonica section to their entire like set list of everything from Transnational through Book of Bad Decisions, I would die. I'd walk in the traffic when it was over. I'd be done.
It's done. Yeah, there's no reason to go on anymore.
No,
'Cause you've experienced life.
Yeah, I've hit the pinnacle. There's nothing more to say. It's so good.
wow.
Oh my god, the horns. First of all, I don't know if you watch HBO at all, but there's a show called The Deuce, which takes place like in the 70s, and it's the rise of Times Square pornography. You know, it's the rise of like the peep shows and the porn theaters and everything. And it's like I hear In Walks Barbarella, and I'm like, they need this song to open up The Deuce. This is all like I just want to put on a big floppy hat, put goldfish in the heels of my shoes, and walk down the street to this.
Oh man, it's so good.
It's
I just want to say that I remember I found out about the video like probably a week or so after it dropped, and I was kind of mad at myself because usually I'm up on the notifications. If you follow Clutch on Spotify will usually send you an email saying, "Hey, new music from Clutch, whatever." Well, I missed this, and I come to the video a week later, and I'm like, "Oh boy, they dropped a fourth video from this album," and I remember playing it and going, something's different here. And it took me a second. I was like, do I like this? Do I? No, I love this. I absolutely love it. And I sent you guys a message. I said, I don't know if you guys have heard the new song or not, but there is a horn section in this song. And then I watched the video. I actually pay attention to what's going on in the video. And this was one of those ones where I kind of chomped at the bit to maybe get that on the Metal Hammer of Doom Extra, because it had, if not as much going on in it, just like How to Shake Hands. Now, just real quick, ladies and gentlemen, this song is actually the third part of a trilogy from X-Rays, Firebirds, X-Ray Visions, Firebirds, and then we have In Walks Barbarella. There's elements in all three songs that fit together. And according to Neil, this is the third chapter of that story. And the video does a great job of displaying what's going on in comic book form, somewhat animated comic book form, I should say, where we have the white shirt, black tie, Neil Fallon and the rest of the group, just like from X-Ray Visions. And they continue apparently to grab this suitcase. That's the big thing. They're trying to get this suitcase, and this chick is after them. This girl from the astral planes, which apparently may be the girl that was after the energy weapons in Firebirds. So anyway, I love the fact that they've tied these songs together, which is not usually something that you see. Like Big News 1, Big News 2 are the top two that I could think of, Clutch songs that actually somewhat loosely tie together. I can't think of too many others that really involve a story continuing from one song to the next. So that's something unique that Clutch has done that I really enjoy. And the fact that In Walks Barbarella is the best song off this album, in my opinion. It'll be, oh man, it's DC Sound Attack was like the top song for me for quite a while. And then this comes along. It takes a rare Clutch song to usurp my favorite from before, and this one did it. So, Coop, I've went on long enough. Please.
If there's anything in my life I'm really good at, it's going on way too long. Like, boy, oh boy, I mean, yeah, I can talk.
Tell me about the library, Coop. Tell me about the pawn shop.
Oh, dude, I haven't been to a pawn shop in a while. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a hot minute because I keep buying shit from the internet instead. Like I bought a Japanese Power Ranger DVD set for $20. So I was like, hey, I mean, eBay is just a pawn shop of the internet. Let's be honest.
That's the truth.
But like the library, like, dude, I got the omnibus for Planetary.
Oh,
it's
wow.
a fucking $75 graphic novel that is like 40 issues, and it is a fucking brick.
Any idea who wrote that? Because I know that
It
sounds.
is.
Planetary's a good. I remember that was.
It's on the tip of my tongue. Hold on.
Man,
Because I know John Cassidy did the art for it, but like I don't know why I'm blanking. I think it was Warren Ellis.
Warren Ellis. Okay, all right.
Yeah, let me just make sure. But like, yeah, this fucking song It kills. Like, it's fun. I didn't know it had stuff to do with the other songs. I just kind of just enjoyed it anyway.
Sure.
Yeah. But like, yeah, it fucking rips. Like, I think the last song might have made more of an initial impression on me, just because, not gonna lie, like that groovy sound, like that shit makes me want to get up and go. Like, I will dance around my house to that. And this song's another song very similar to that. I dance the fuck around my house in this too, but I don't know. I always like that more. I like that kind of rockabilly sort of throwback folky sound. Yeah.
Mark, I was going to say, you talked about business picking up after Book of Bad Decisions. When you follow How to Shake Hands with In Walks Barbarella, JR is about to show up and do commentary.
I mean, by God, King must be broken in half.
That's me laying on the floor after the song's over. They killed him! My God, they killed him!
They've broken it in half. Dude, In Walks Barbarella has such a great 70s funk to it. And I'm coming to realize that emphasis on the brass in a song that takes elements of 70s funk. Like, I want to, like, there's I'm not going to play it. I don't even know if I can find it on Spotify right now if I tried. But if you go to the Sucking the 70s album, which is a bunch of stoner rock bands covering 70s songs, Roadsaw did a cover of Vehicle, and it's one of my favorite songs of all time. You know, because they did a great job of capturing all of those elements, and when you put it together, like when you take like lively rock and roll and you add that brass section to it, it just makes music. It just makes the most perfect sounding music. And I tell you, just when you think Clutch, you know, like, oh, they added that like cowbell sound to, you know, DC Sound Attack. Like, that's awesome, man. What an element.
Everything needs more fucking cowbell.
Indeed. Like, just when you think like they can't get any better, then they put a song out like In Walks Barbarella, and the next song we're going to hear, which is Vision Quest, and you're like, holy shit. I don't know of another band that's doing anything even close to this, and this is so good. It's the best thing I've heard all year.
I feel you.
All right. Well, like I said, you said that In Walks Barbarella is probably your favorite song. I'm going to go you one better. I think Vision Quest is like, I mean, we're talking a matter of inches here, a matter of millimeters. But I think there's the placement of the piano with the brass and everything else that goes into Vision Quest makes it just a smidgen better. Here's what I'm talking about. This is not the Matthew Modine movie. This is Vision Quest.
Cut you through. gonna cut you through.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! All right, so I bit of there's no brass in that. It's just the piano, but still, that's so good. This is the first time I heard that, I was actually driving out to Port Canaveral to go on the cruise on Friday, Jesse, and as soon as I heard that, I'm like, I threw my phone at my wife and I'm like, text Jesse immediately and tell him, think Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yeah, I hear every word that you're saying there. Man, did you not play the dashboard piano like the second time you heard this song?
Oh my god!
That's me in the car. You're sitting there. Oh, here we go. And name another Clutch song that has that piano in it. There's not one.
Well, I mean, if you think about the pipe organ, that's all over fucking Robot Hive Exodus.
Yeah, it is.
And
but
to a degree,
you don't hear this piano.
No, this, like I said, they've made use of the organ before, especially with Robot Hive Exodus. I want to say a little bit on From Beale Street to Oblivion as well. But as far as like just a regular good old fashioned wooden piano, no. This is the first time I've heard them use it. And like I said, between the brass band and the piano, it's so good. It adds such another level to Clutch's music, and it just takes it up another notch, and it's so good. And I don't want to keep repeating myself, but like I struggle to think about another band in heavy metal right now or in rock and roll that's doing anything like this. That's got the kind of balls that Clutch has, but it's got such different instrumentation, and really creates these. Clutch has this really weird way of producing a sound that sounds familiar, but is still very different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When you look at the lyrics of this thing, that was kind of the central part that I was focusing on when I was listening to this, and it is just a goofy story. When Death shows up at this guy's door, he wants him to go out drinking because, hey, he's on a vision quest. Everybody's invited. Ain't life just the best? I mean, it's a funny story to see happening in your mind. And this guy, he's trying to get him to go drinking with him, is like, dude, Death has a wife to worry about, ladies and gentlemen, apparently, and she's going to give Death hell for staying out late drinking. And I mean, great sound, hilarious story. So I mean, you are right. It's probably, in ways of being a unique song on this album, it's right up there with In Walks Barbarella. So, but yeah, Coop.
It's like It's like 1 and 1A. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Coop, what was your thoughts on this one?
Like, every time I listen to this song, I just think of like the '60s.
Yeah.
Like late '60s, early '70s. Like, yeah, I just keep imagining like like the song's climax and the dude's on the fucking piano like just like fucking going crazy on it.
Like lighting that shit on fire, ton wagon, still gets knocked over.
Why is he dog tonguing it? Is he fucking whacking off on it?
He's fucking his cousin and marrying her. It's fine.
What?
Whoa! Wait, I didn't know he joined Alabama.
Waka waka. You guys don't know the story of Jerry Lee Lewis. You've never seen Great Balls of Fire.
No.
I've heard of the cousin stuff. I've not seen the movie.
Ah, Dennis Quaid's great as Jerry Lee Lewis, but yes, he married his 13-year-old cousin.
What is it with us and actors named Dennis tonight?
Yeah, he married his 13-year-old cousin, Jesse.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, at least you know she's got a good family.
Oh. Was Jerry Lee Lewis the Big Bopper? No, that was Frankie Valentine or Frankie Valance.
The Big Bopper was the Big Bopper.
Jim the Animal Neidhart.
The Big Bopper. Richie Valance is Richie Valance.
And they all died on a plane.
And Buddy Holly also was there.
So,
Oh,
A
man.
Weezer wrote a song about him.
what age do you play La Bamba for your kid? Because on the one hand, it's a fun story, about a Chicano who grows up to become, America's singing sweetheart, and then he dies in a plane crash tragically. On the other hand, there's a line in the movie where he's just like, "You got screwed, blued, and tattooed," and I'm like, I don't know when this is appropriate to play for a child.
Yeah.
Big
It was-
brown-eyed girl. So
that's why they rate movies. I assume this was a PG-13?
La Bamba? Hang on.
Yeah.
Alexa, what rating was the movie La Bamba?
yeah, the NSA wants to know too.
All right, let's try that again.
Hey, wiretap.
Wiretap.
I'm telling you, they fucking used that. They used fucking recordings from Alexa in a murder.
Nice. Alexa, what rating was the movie La Bamba?
La Bamba is rated PG-13 and has a rating
Yeah.
of 6.8 out of 10 on IMDb based on around 24,000 votes.
Oh, thanks for that extra information. Now go fuck yourself.
Fucking know it all, bitch.
So I guess
You're better than me.
So she's 7 right now. I should probably wait till she's at least 9 before I introduce her to La Bamba.
Yeah. Like I said, they put ratings on those things, and sometimes it's hard to tell. Like I said, my 8-year-old wanted to watch Breakfast Club for a second time, and then I was like, when we watched it the first time, I was like, oh, geez, boy, some of this subject matter is probably not appropriate. But Parent of the Year here, go ahead and go watch it, Caleb. I'll be in the other room. I'll be downstairs editing a podcast. Leave me alone.
Go show them all of the vacation movies. I mean, European Vacation's rated PG with titties.
Oh, wow.
Now
It is.
you didn't watch The Breakfast Club with him?
No, we did the first time. The second
Okay.
time, when he wanted to watch it, I wondered if I should let him watch it because,
Well, once
There
you've
was
seen it the first time, I mean, what difference does it make?
you're right. You're right. Well, it's
Pick up on stuff.
maybe.
All right.
I don't know. Didn't watch The Breakfast Club till I was 16.
Speaking of parenting decisions, this next song is called "Weird Times." All right, if you were looking for Rockin' Fast Clutch, we got it right there for you. Weird Times. I feel like they wrote that one because they knew they were going to tour on this album, and they had to write something for the kids to mosh to.
Okay. For me, this one is
Pick up
kind of
that change.
pick up that change. Yeah, Neil Fallon's yelling at him, "Get in a circle." I want two
Wall of
balls.
death. Wall of death. Wall of death.
I can't say I've heard that at a Clutch concert. This one for me is one of the weaker ones again off the album. I think I'm going to put this down there with Spirit of 76. I want to talk about the producer here real quick, guy by the name of Vance Powell, who has worked with everyone, this is according to Rolling Stone, worked with everyone from Jack White to Leanne Rimes and won a Grammy for engineering and mixing Chris Stapleton's Traveler. So You know, I think about this song when I think about the production of this album. And I'm not saying it's horrible in any way because we've got In Walks Barbarella, but it's just different. I can tell it's produced differently. And Weird Times is a good one. I'll listen to it, but again, it's nothing that knocks my socks off. We've already heard two of the best songs off this album. It's kind of hard to follow those up. And that's okay because this is a good effort. So
I feel like I said, the song is that it kind of goes back to "Give Me the Keys." Like, all right, well, that's a Clutch song.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this song is made for pogoing around the mosh pit, and you know, it's there to sort of like a lot. Like Clutch isn't writing a lot of like moshable tunes anymore. Like, you know, you can't really, you know, you should not be moshing to Vision Quest or In Walks Barbarella, but people who go to a Clutch show want to mosh, and so it's like so I think they write some songs that have a punkier sound to it for those folks that are coming to just fuck somebody up in a mosh pit. And there's nothing to it, you know, it's fine. Like I said, on Clutch's worst day, they're still better than everyone else out there. So it's like I can't really say it's a bad song.
Yeah.
Clutch.
Clutch. Please let us know what you think of the song you made.
Hey, we already got one band to listen to our podcast. What's the worst thing that could happen?
Oh wow, boy, could you imagine?
we got two, and one of those ended with a legal letter.
Oh.
What was the other one?
Oh, you haven't heard the story?
I mean, I know we had corruption.
Okay, no. So the legal representation for Warner Brothers for Warner Brothers record label, which is of course what Alice in Chains is on, sent us a cease and desist.
Ooh, because we played their music?
Yes.
Ha! Well, I mean
bots.
I mean, it amuses me because it's like, what are they going to do? Take all the money we make? Oh wait, we don't make any fucking money on the podcast.
They just said they just said take it down, so I did. But you know, but I have surmised, and somebody else said this too. Jesse disagrees, but somebody else put it out there that was like, you think maybe if you'd said nice things about the album, they still would have sent you a cease and desist? Because I fucking
did you shit on it?
Dude, I fucking shit on it and threw it in the river. I was not thrilled with the new Alice in Chains.
Cause I like the Alice in Chains, but last two albums, like I did, no joke. Like I love Devil Put Dinosaurs Here.
Oh, well, this one I thought Rainier Fog was hot garbage.
Oh wow, well I'll have to give it a gander then. I'm just sad that the podcast is forever lost.
All right, Weird Times. What do you think?
I thought it was all right. I mean, it was a good up-tempo sort of break from the sort of oddities that have been coming to the album. Yeah, that's the way I'll put it. I think it was like a nice up-tempo, like, here's Clutch. Yeah.
All right.
It was Clutch.
It definitely was Clutch. All right, this next song is called Emily Dickinson.
The farmhouse was overtaken
So the first thing I want to say is they brought back the keyboard for that, which definitely adds some nice layering, some nice flavor to the song. Second, I feel like somebody in the band was like, you know what the kids like? They like that song, The Regulator. Let's do that again.
Now, see, this album's going to make a liar out of me because I enjoy that song. It's of the slower type, but it's got some pretty heavy elements to it. And, hey, we got the modern-day poet, Neil Fallon, singing a song about a poet, Emily Dickinson, from back in the 1800s. And, hey, I'm down. I like this song. And this is probably one of the better songs off this album, in my opinion. So I don't know why, but it's good.
I'll tell you, this album's had a lot of replay value. I mean, normally, my normal routine is I probably won't even listen to an album that we're reviewing until the day of, so it's fresh in my brain. Plus, I have a lot of other podcasts that I listen to, including our own. So, it's trying to get that, trying to fit it all in, in between my, life. Can't always be listening to podcasts. Got
I understand.
I got work stuff to do. I got dad stuff to do. I got husband stuff to do. So, so a lot of times, like I said, I'll listen to an album going to and from work, and that'll be enough for me to talk about it. I've listened to this album like a bunch of times since Friday. I listened to it on the drive to Port Canaveral. I listened to it on the drive back. I listened to it while walking around on the boat. I listened to it while I was in the hammock.
On a train.
I
listened to it in a box.
I listened to it with a fox.
Listen to it with Foo Foo the Snoo.
That's right. You missed the good one, though. I listened to it while resting in a hammock on Castaway Cay. Do you know what Castaway Cay is, Jesse?
I have no fucking clue.
Sounds like a drug.
All right. So neither one of you apparently have ever been on a Disney cruise.
That's correct.
You need
no.
You need to at some point in your life take your family on a Disney cruise at least once. I would make that suggestion to you. I mean, like I've now done this like 2 or 3 times. I don't really want to do it anymore, but I would suggest doing it at least once. And you can do like what we did, which is the 4-day. This next bit has been brought to you by Disney Cruise Lines. No, in all seriousness, they have like these like really short cruises where it's just 2 stops in the Bahamas. One is at Nassau. One is at Disney owns an island. Okay, it's their own private island.
Not surprised.
Yeah.
Not surprised.
Yep.
They own an island in the Bahamas, and it's called Castaway Cay. And some of their cruises go to that island, and we've now done that at least twice, and it's basically like a private beach. They feed you on the island. It's all free food, unless you buy like a specialty item like ice cream or something like that. There's free flowing alcohol on the island, and like they have like a beach set up, and they've got some hammocks there. And I'll tell you, man, the first thing I did as soon as I hit the beach was jump right in the hammock.
They're going to say jump right into the booze river.
The river of booze, yes. My daughter and I got matching coconuts. They were selling these like specialty drinks in these plastic coconut cups, and my daughter, who is very very yuppie, she's like, "Daddy, buy me a coconut drink," and I said, "Okay." So we bought them together. I bought 2, and we both laid out next to each other, drinking out of a coconut on Disney's private island. Could that not be more white, by the way?
I mean, that is pretty bourgeois.
Yeah, thank you for saying bourgeois, not bougie, by the way. I'm on a quest to get people who aren't like poor and black to stop saying bougie.
I mean, it is pretty amusing, but no, like that is straight up like white bread. You're like, Jeeves, yes, get me my coconut drink. Mr. Radulich, we're not on the Disney island. You heard me, Jeeves. Have your family in the basement.
So, Jesse, when are you signing up for the next Disney cruise?
Yeah, that won't be for a while. Thanks, but no thanks.
No? What?
Yeah, you know why? It's because his son keeps getting first place in Fortnite.
I told that story again today. Yeah.
You only did it once, though, right?
Yes, I'm not. Thank goodness I learned my lessons.
Have
welcome.
you put your son to work earning money with Fortnite? Apparently, that's the thing to do.
No. Apparently, I need to be doing that, though. That's what I've heard. He needs to be a trainer. Dude,
Now, let me ask you a question. Do you
it would be a
not,
catastrophe, is what it would be.
do you not want to go on a Disney cruise? Does that not sound appealing to you, or is it just like cha-ching? I can't do it.
Do you think the people in the costumes fuck on board? I mean, I'm sure they do.
I mean, I don't think they're asexual. If that's what you're asking, Jesse. Back to you. What is your objection to going on a Disney cruise?
Financially is a little bit unfeasible.
All right.
We'll just put it that way. And if I had that much money to do that with, I probably, I couldn't even fathom the drive to Florida
Really?
with my kids. Are you fucking kidding me?
It's like
No.
a 15-hour
I don't
drive.
know. Your kids could be perfect angels for all I know, who just don't go to bed on time.
Have you heard them behind us in the podcast part?
I don't know how they would be in a car though. That you can't. You look.
Like, Jesse gets his damn baton and he goes and busts heads some night.
Oh, dude.
Listen, I'm not going to comment on Jesse's children. I don't know what they're like. I mean, you can't tell by just the amount of times they've messed with his computer, spilled juice on it, or or interrupted him in a podcast when he's clearly told them, "Go to bed. I'm in a podcast now." I don't know what they're like. They could be perfect angels.
They're
For
like,
all I
you're
know.
not my real dad.
Yeah, it would be rough. I'll tell you, my son, my 8-year-old son, when he was young, really young, I would go to pick up Mindy at night when she was off of work at the grocery store. And now, granted, she never got out at the same time. I could not stop my car. If I stopped my car when he was like 1, he would absolutely erupt into fits and screams because he couldn't sit still. He had to have that bit of motion. Well, when he's strapped down in a car for more than 10 or 15 minutes, it's, hey, when are we going back home? Hey, so I could not even think of trying to do 11. I think it's at least 12, at least a 12-hour drive.
Well, what if you flew down? Do like everybody else does. Fly to Orlando and then take the bus over.
What's the next song?
You know what? If you want to be a real man, you're at a fucking 70,000 tons of metal cruise.
Oh,
How's that
dude.
fucking sound?
I've been trying to get my wife to go to that since we got together, and my wife was like, the sister Hazel apparently has a cruise, and my wife's like, I'm not going on any metal cruises before we get to go on the Sister Hazel cruise. I'm like, well, I guess I'm never going on a metal cruise then.
Sister
Actually-
Hazel cruise?
Yeah.
That sounds like a bunch of middle-aged, parents fucking.
Well, you know what's funny about that? Here, let me quick tell you this story. So, going back to the I want to actually do the 70,000 tons of metal cruise, and her fighting me and acting like she never gets to do anything she wants, which is a bunch of horse shit. I was like, all right, I'm
got
going
loud enough to wake her up.
Yeah, it's a bunch of horse shit, Melissa. Anyway, she's fucking she's way asleep right now. So I said to my parents, I'm like, look, my wife has been bitching at me about this stupid ass cruise, since we met. Can we make this happen? Can this be like an anniversary / Christmas / Easter / fucking post office day? I don't give a fuck.
Arbor Day.
Arbor Day, yeah, who cares?
Or
Can we make this happen, please? And my parents were like, all right, yeah, well, we'll look into it. And then they were like, all right, we're down. Like, we'll just all go as a family, and we can all enjoy this, together. And as sort of an aside to the story, we were supposed to go on a cruise to celebrate my mom's 70th birthday a few years ago, but then my wife got pregnant with Jonas, so then that happened.
She?
Then they rebooked the cruise, and I got pregnant with cancer. So so we canceled that cruise. And my father was like, I give up on this. And then I brought up the whole Sister Hazel cruise thing. They're like, well, 3 times a charm. So they go ahead, they get all the information, they go through the process of booking it. My wife does the research on it, and she's just like, oh, apparently this is like the irresponsible party boat for middle-aged white people who have left their kids behind.
Oh, no.
Yeah, apparently, the thing to do is to be white and middle class, and then, and then jump on this boat and act like a complete asshole.
What else do you expect when you hear Sister Hazel Cruise?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I'm not the one that wanted to do this. So she's like, I think as responsible parents, it would be irresponsible for us to bring your parents and our kids on this white people party cruise. I'm like, but then here's me, right? I'm like, but you wanted to go. I was doing this for you. I wanted to make you happy. And she's like,
you should have went with, I just wanted to go to 70,000 tons of metal, you selfish kid.
I kind of said that. I actually said, what I really said was, I was like, it's fine if you don't want to do this, but then I don't want to hear anymore how you don't ever get to do what you want, since you had it handed to you on a silver plate and you fucking turned it down because it would be irresponsible. Whatever. So instead we're going on.
It's so much fun.
Instead we're yeah, I highly recommend it. So we went back to my parents and we're like, and Melissa was like, yeah, this is not the cruise for us. Let's do something different. So next year in March, we're going on like a week-long South American cruise. One of the stops is in Belize, as a matter of fact. So
I can't believe it.
I can't believe it. That's right. So Jesse, when you flying down to Orlando to jump on the Disney cruise?
Sorry, I was just thinking about recently how I celebrated my 20-year anniversary with my wife by going to go get Wendy's.
All right, so the next song, Jesse.
Conversation over.
Jesse, if I ever win the lottery and make $1 million, I'm sending your family to fucking Disney World.
You are the man.
I'm gonna fly you to Orlando. I'm gonna set you up at the hotel that I've always wanted to stay at, which is the Boardwalk. I mean, I'll be right next door to your room, but because I want to be there too. But
oh yeah.
But if I'm telling you right now, Metal Hammer of Doom listeners, that I love Jesse Starcher, and if I ever have bunches of money to just piss away for no good reason, I'm sending his family to Disney. How you like that?
I like it.
All right. This podcast took a weird turn, didn't it? Weird times, baby.
Weird times.
This is Sonic Counselor.
Ferocious women and ill-tempered men. We're not that picky 'cause we take them all in. We fuss and fight and spin and cuss. Look no further, you have found the right church. Ecclesiastic, worldwide, enlightenment, solid counselor. Ecclesiastic, worldwide, enlightenment, solid counselor. Prosperity gospel just ain't our thing. The riches we seek are sent for no king. If you desire material wealth, the truth of the matter is you're in the wrong church. Ecclesiastic, worldwide, enlightenment, solid counselor. Ecclesiastic, worldwide, enlightenment, solid counselor.
At the risk of sounding repetitive, that's a Clutch song.
You know what element, though, that I really love? That's Neil Fallon behind the pulpit. And that's what I feel like we get here. He does that in quite a few of his songs. This song would feel at home on Robot Hive. When you look at Burning Beard and Never Be Moved off of that album, this is this just feels like it's one of those that would just fit right in amongst that track list. And I like this song. This is where I wanted to go to church with Neil, this album, and I got the chance. Here we go.
Robert Cooper.
Yeah. I mean, that was a pretty pretty fun song. It was a nice Clutch song. I mean, it's good. We only get like 14 of those every 2 years. So, yeah. I mean, it was quality Clutch.
All right, we're going to keep it moving on here. This next song is called A Good Fire. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. All right, Jesse, what'd you think of that one?
Who'd you queue up? Because you came back in just a little late.
Oh, Jesse. Jesse, what'd you think of that one?
Oh, okay. Hey, listen. This is a bit different for me when it comes to a Clutch song. It's still Clutch, and it's got a bit of when it comes to the lyrics, the poetry's there.
We're on the downswing, aren't we?
We're on our. Yeah, A Good Fire does not stand up to some of the better ones off this album.
I was going to say, I think if they needed to cut something, you cut this one.
Okay, all right. But, I mean, my goodness, it sounds like what he's doing here, at least in the first part. He says he remembers hearing Sabbath for the first time when he was 13 years old, a large field party outside Damascus, in the grips of October's cold. Motherfucker don't even need music. That is poetry. It's beautiful. But regardless, it's you put the guys behind him, and it's a decent Clutch song. I'll listen to this. This isn't something I skip. If you want to say this is something that you would cut, okay. How many songs did we have? 14 off this album, and that makes for a pretty long Clutch album.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, hey, whatever. A Good Fire. I'm all right with it.
It's not a bad song. I'm just saying they could have tightened this up a little bit.
Okay.
And cut this one.
Right. I'll agree with you there. Robert Cooper?
This felt like special edition filler.
Yeah.
Bonus track.
Yeah, this felt like B-side. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
You know, I remember with I think it was Elephant Riders, where if you let it play, if you let the Dragonfly play for like 20 minutes, there was like 3 different tracks that were at the end of it. They could have done that with this one, and you know, it wouldn't have really changed the album significantly.
I remember how my mind was blown that was the case. That I remember getting the Elephant Rider CD and listening, not the fact that there was a hidden song, but the fact that you had to buy 3 different versions in order to get all 3 songs. And there was no way to tell. I don't think there was any way to tell. And the only one that had, I think, all 3 was like it was the overseas release. I think it was the Japanese release or whatever that actually had all 3 songs on the CD itself. And boy, that was one of my first ever like internet gold digging days, trying to find that version of those songs so I could listen to them, because I had no idea what they sounded like.
Right.
And you were talking late 90s there, mid 90s. So
Didn't we include
good
one
stuff.
of these on the Deep Cuts review that we did?
I don't know. I know there's shit. I know there's '05. I can't remember the titles of the rest of them, which is funny. You know, I wonder. Spotify does not have those on there. You have Dragonfly, but I wonder if they are like beholden to the one song after Dragonfly. Let's see what that is. I'm gonna just fast forward. You go ahead and keep talking.
All right, well, I'm actually going to go to the next song here. I know you like this one a lot. This one here is A Ghoul Wrangler.
I hear a ruckus in the back, tall shadows on the wall. Mabel, won't you wake up? We got lawyers in the barn, yes we do. Other rumors, they're all true. Don't worry, baby, I know what to do. Many years ago, there was a case of legalese. Thankfully, my granddad handed down those ancient ways, yes he did. From magic, the real deal. From magic, hot off the grill. Woo! Go Wrangler! Shut 'em down! Go Wrangler! Shut 'em down! License abounded, let's get our business kinda satisfied. Go Wrangler! I sneak up to the coop and see them chewing on the bones, spitting backwards, laughing at mobile phones. Yes, they were. Frothing at the mouth like rabid beasts. Diabolical to say the least. At the sight of me, they bear their flashing yellow claws. Bits of old Portchester wine falling from their mouths. Yes, they were. Hackles rose, air grew chill. Folk magic, hot off the grill. Woo! Go Wrangler! Shut 'em down! Go Wrangler! Shut 'em down!
All right, now we're talking. See, we're picked back up again. We kind of dipped there with a good fire, but we're right back to where we need to be with Ghoul Wrangler. That's a smoking tune right there with a nifty beat. It's got that rockabilly feel to it. It's everything we love about Clutch. Jesse Starcher.
Oh my goodness, this is, I think, top 5 for me off this album. I really love this song just because, number one, you heard how it sounds. Okay, I don't have to justify anything else other than what you just listened to. However,
nobody with a good car needs to be justified.
all right then. I'm sure you're referencing something I don't get. Yet
Oh,
again,
for
take
fuck's
a drink.
sake. That's Jesus Built My Hot Rod. We've been over this.
Oh, we have, haven't we?
We have I think we have a metal...
How many times have we talked about that and I've just completely wiped it from my memory?
Don't we have a Metal Hammer of Doom extra you've never posted for Jesus Built My Hot Rod?
Keep that vault locked over there. All right.
Hey, we have like 20 recordings. Jesse's just standing in front of it. It's me precious. I never release anything. November rain, November go fuck yourself.
Someone left the cake out in the rain. You ain't going to see it, though, and you're not going to get to hear our commentary.
in the rain.
Someone left my cat out in the rain. Meow.
I saved the kitties from the rain.
Yes, you do.
Oh, we're
With
back to-
ham, nonetheless.
We're back to this again.
Ghoul Wrangler, ladies and gentlemen, is a song about a guy finding lawyers on his farm and killing them. Okay? This is a great song. Oh, my gosh. So, I mean, I remember listening to this and going, oh, man, I kind of dig the sound of this, and then actually digging in, once again, to the lyrical content and just listen to what he's talking about. Man, the greatest moment of this song is when he says, we've got different laws down here on the farm. And I'm like, fuck yes, man. This is some good stuff.
I like the hot off the grill. I like the way he says that.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, Hot Off the Grill was an unreleased Clutch song. I don't think that was something that found its way onto, you know how they did like a bunch of B-sides there. Hot Off the Grill was like a live song I remember finding off of the internet, and it's actually an interesting song. But when I heard him yell that, this first thing I thought of was Hot Off the Grill by Clutch. And just real quick before I turn it over to Coop, Elephant Riders had 3 hidden tracks, 05, Gifted and Talented, which I like that one. I think that was the one my CD had. And then David Rose. And David Rose is the one that is on Spotify. So you cannot hear Gifted and Talented or 05 on Spotify, unfortunately.
So you can find them somewhere.
I don't know, YouTube.
Yeah. I must call them Clutch again.
You're gonna keep doing that, aren't you?
Hey, Clutch!
Shit, fucking mud.
Robert Cooper, Ghoul Wrangler.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Sorry, one of my cats wanted out. Now he wants back in. Fucking cat.
You tell that cat to
Anywho.
suck it.
Oh, yeah, he's getting. That's why. God damn it!
Damn.
Fuck in there, you fucking cat.
Welcome to Kitty
Nah, you
Time with
fucking
Robert
asshole.
Cooper.
Fucking assholes. Anywho, yeah, the song's fucking groovy and I dig it.
All right. This next one is called HB is in. I don't know who HB is. Control.
I'll tell you when we get done with this song.
Southside Dennis, I was amazed as I quietly surveyed the damage. I did my best not to attract attention. Just a glass of water and a ham sandwich.
Ham sandwich.
One more time, her demeanor was most sunny. She dropped the picture, screamed bloody murder, and sucked them in the kitchen, started burning. Don't call the cops, don't call the fire department. I run up his boss, in control. Supernatural, yeah. I run up his boss, is in control. The tornado erupted in a medieval melee. You know that stand darkness and misery. I started thinking this is getting bubonic, and I better split before they get to splitting me. The smoke was thinking it was our confusion. The manager managed to vomit money. I got up on the counter, said you all must be tripping. If this is some kind of joke, but it ain't funny. Don't call the cops, don't call the fire department. I run him as boss, in control. Supernatural, yeah. I run him as boss, is in control.
All right. Jesse, tell me all about it.
Hieronymus Bosch. Hieronymus Bosch apparently was a painter from the late 1400s to the early 1500s. He is most known for his painting called The Garden of Earthly Delights, which apparently depicts some crazy shit happening as we apparently start out in the Garden of Eden, and then it says the Garden of Eden is depicted on the left panel and the Last Judgment depicted on the right panel. And I really wish you could see what this thing looks like on the right. I mean, there is some crazy, crazy stuff going on. I'm going to send this picture to you guys, or at least the link. You guys don't have to comment on it or anything, but there is, for a 1400s painter, wow. It's just crazy, crazy, crazy. That looks like a rat with a leg nose, and that guy has twigs for hands and a glass butt.
Stay away from drugs.
There's
Is
two
there a
ears with a surfboard coming out of them.
Is there a collage of mutilated vaginas?
No. Are we? What is that? Hold on.
That is
I know the name.
that is Carcass, right?
Carcass.
Is there
No,
a
I was actually wondering what those album covers were. I couldn't quite tell. I could tell there's some major frostbite.
Is there a cross and a jar of urine?
I don't. What is that?
Piss Christ. You never heard of Piss Christ? I've talked about it. I've talked about it before. There was an art exhibit in Brooklyn, which was a crucifix submerged in a jar of urine. And, of course, conservatives were like, why are we funding this horse shit?
Hieronymus Bosch is in control.
It's a good song.
Now,
I like it.
And I like it. Same
Jar
here.
of water. You know what? You know it's even better. Put it in a jar of wine. It'll be like, guys, it was water. Oh, Jesus.
All right. This next song is about Maryland crab cakes. And that's why I love rock and roll. Hot Bottom Feeder.
Never mind that stuff they sell from Vietnam. Get it from the Chesapeake, but never from the can. Follow my directions, it's an easy recipe. Strictly by the pound, adjust accordingly. 100 million years old, transcendent creature. No bones about it. Hot bottom feeder. Don't bother with the load, it won't stick together. I prefer bad thin, and there's nothing wrong with special. Powdered mustard, parsley, a dab of mayonnaise. Just enough breadcrumbs and one raw egg. 100 million years old. Transcendent creature. I just can't get enough. Hot bottom feeder.
See, now I'm fucking hungry again.
Oh, man.
He's singing about crab cakes, motherfucker. Motherfucking crab cakes. Okay, show me a rapper. Okay, show me a rapper out there right now singing about crab cakes. You won't find one.
I think what makes this song so outstanding,
Crab cakes.
the fact that you go into a Clutch album, oh, wait a second, Clutch has dropped a new song. And you're like, oh, I can't wait to hear this, like I did on Spotify. And as a huge Clutch fan, you start digging, and you start digging into, what does he mean? What does he mean, Mark Radulich? And then you watch the video, and you find out it's just a fucking recipe for crab cakes. You were looking just a little too hard, and that is the beauty of Hot Bottom Feeder, ladies and gentlemen.
This song is so good. First of all, I love the twang in it. I love that that old school bluesy twang. But even better, it is again just he's just simply singing about the love of crab cakes. It's so good. I dig it.
I've never had a crab cake, I don't think. I've had crab,
You
but I don't
have
think
not
I've had,
lived.
I don't. I'm okay, Mark Radulich, sitting here at my house and being a
You never had
homebody.
a crab cake?
Never had a crab cake. I think I've had a crab at one point.
What the fuck?
Pardon me, Mr. Sophistications.
I know, Mister never had sex, right?
I wouldn't make that joke, but
I
look,
would.
You're a son of a bitch and a motherfucker.
I am, and I'm not.
These two things, not at once. All right. What do you think? What do you think of hot bottom feeder here, Coop?
I feel like I need to take you like out and like get you crab cakes, put you on a cruise, you just need to do things.
I want a song about macaroni and cheese, specifically Kraft.
You know
You know who would write that fucking song?
You know
who would write the mac and cheese songs?
Honestly, you know what you need? Clutch needs to write a song about molesting other people's junk. That's what you need.
I
no,
really
wait a
hope
second.
you were going there with that, not somewhere else.
You've done Coop proud.
That's right. You know, it says a good Metal Hammer of Doom like a little molestation.
He's giving me a hard time, Coop, because I like yard sales.
I'm sure he is.
No. No.
No.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's how it all starts. No.
Especially with Mark Radulich.
I mean,
right.
pretty much.
Right hole,
First
wrong
he's trying to
attitude.
get you on a cruise, and then he's just hitting you with the old Dutch oven.
Oh, no. Now I see where things are going here. Don't ever hit the lottery, Mark Radulich.
Hot bottom feeder.
No.
It's got a whole new meaning to it now.
Get me off this podcast.
Bottom.
How have you never had crab cakes? Really? Are you just like not a seafood eater?
You
No,
just not like crab?
I've never went out and sought crab cakes. I just never had the chance to go and, hey, listen, I'm the guy that probably one of the most boring guys you'll ever meet. You know, I go to McDonald's, I get the same thing. All right, I go to
Disappointment.
It's a big old, yeah, number 5 with a side of disappointment, please.
So, are you and your wife like going to go out to dinner anytime soon? Like, is there going to be an opportunity for you to go out and try crab cakes? Because I feel like this needs to happen now.
I can't say that there will be anytime soon, no. But if it happens, ladies and gentlemen, I will let this podcast know. And Mark Radulich, I will send you a message.
I had
crab cakes.
I had
Thanks,
crab
Clutch.
cakes. I had crab cakes. I have no idea what the fuck you're on about. Love, Jesse. You know what it is? Like every time, like my wife's not a huge seafood eater, believe it or not. But like whenever she's at a seafood restaurant, she always orders crab cakes. Like it's the one staple thing that she orders. Crab cakes.
God damn, I love. You know what's even better than fucking crab cakes?
What's better than
A
crab cakes?
cake burger.
It's all right. You ever
Fucking love crab cake burgers.
have a salmon burger?
No.
Yeah, they take salmon, they mash it up into a patty, throw it on the grill, put it between 2 pieces of bread, some pickles.
Hey, you guys ever
You know
have
what I really
Captain
love?
D's?
Shut the
What?
fuck up.
Long John Silver's?
Cap, I know where you're going.
I
I've
don't.
been there.
These nuts.
No. A legit place down here in Marietta called Captain D's. I think it's a big franchise, as far as I know.
Can you get
There's Long
crab?
John Silver's.
Can you get crab
You
cakes?
just heard-
No, I'm just trying to make a point that that's the extent of my seafood expertise.
Oh God! You know what's really great? Crab stuffed salmon.
I'm gonna pitch this as an idea for like a travel channel, and we're gonna call the show "Just You Don't Know Shit," and I'm gonna just take it, and I'm just take them around the world, just like
Jesse Starcher and not McDonald's.
Pretty much going to be like an idiot abroad, except all 3 of us are Carl Pilkington.
just need to. I've never met a person who's never had a crab cake before.
Yeah, well, welcome to it. 40 years old.
Yeah,
It's a trend. It's a trend apparently I've stuck to. So,
but you do know but you do know your junk. That's for certain. You definitely.
oh yeah, I'll fondle it all day long, Mark Radulich. Motherfucker.
Jesse, how was your podcast tonight? More gay jokes about me going to yard sales, and apparently I'm some kind of an asshole because I've never had a crab cake. Your show is weird,
Yeah.
Jesse.
Yeah, you know how you talk about podcasts all the time at your place of employment? I do not. I never say anything about podcasts that I'm on. I go in there and I'm like, ashamed. I'm ashamed, Mark Radulich. I'm ashamed.
You like go to work and like, hey Jesse, I heard your podcast tonight. You turn around and be like, I'm not Jesse. You're like wearing a mustache and a top hat.
Who is this Jesse you speak of? I hear there's somebody besmirching my good name.
All right, let's move on. This next song is called Paper and Strife.
Reptilian oil, Papa Dorset to kill. 150 pesos ain't enough to pay these bills. Liberate the Spanish prisoner. The clock's ticking and the time goes near. If you won't, maybe your neighbor will. Regional salesman of the year. Iraqi dinars by the metric ton. Robert Johnson's contract. Oh, you know you need one. Liberate the Spanish prisoner. The clock's ticking and the time goes near. If you won't, maybe your neighbor will. Regional salesman of the year. If you won't, maybe your neighbor will. Regional salesman of the year.
Alrighty. All right, give it to me, Daddy. What'd you think of that one?
Did you cue me up again?
Actually,
you-
what I just said was give it to me, Daddy.
Oh, that was it?
Which,
Yes.
I mean, technically, that could have been summoning me. You don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't want to step on anybody's toes. He's
look,
gonna
if
give
I
it-
say
give it
gi-
right to Mark Radulich.
All right, if I cue up commentary by just saying give it to me, Daddy, somebody talk.
Oh, gotcha. Coop.
All right. I love it when they call me daddy. This song was groovy, man. I mean, I actually liked the last song a lot more. This song was pretty fucking groovy. It was enjoyable. I mean, I did kind of feel, I don't know if it was because it was like 14 or 15 fucking Clutch songs in a row that I was like, like I just felt like a fucking, like I'm like a fat guy walking up the steps. Like I was
Too
just
much.
like, I was just like when I got to that last step, I'm like, God, these first few steps weren't that bad, but I'm starting to kind of run out of energy on these last few.
Yeah, I feel like this album could have used a dose of editing. Lose 2 or 3 songs. Lose a good fire. I mean, this song's fine. This song's fine too, but like I would not have minded if they had just ended the album with Hot Bottom Feeder.
Clutch. Damn it! Now it's me. Coop. Coop had a great, mentioning them as one of the earlier songs as bonus track or a special edition filler. This could go right there on one of the bonus tracks. I think it doesn't. I don't know if it's just because it doesn't fit in with the overall rest of the album, or it's a Clutch song. It's there. It's like, here you go, guys. Here's some extra stuff. Great. I can't pick out any specific reason why this one stands out amongst the rest. So it isn't one of my favorites. I'll tell you that as well. But it's still up rocking, and it's not something that I'm skipping in any way.
Yeah, and nothing is bad on here. Like I said, I've listened to the whole album straight through. But it's funny. I get to about Ghoul Wrangler, and it's like, all right, I've heard. Like I want to start the album over again. Mm-hmm. And again, if you do that, then you miss out on Hot Bottom Feeder, which is excellent. This is why I'm saying, like, move Hot Bottom Feeder up a track. You cut A Good Fire, cut HB is in Control, cut Paper and Strife.
Not HB is in Control, but that's all right.
All right, maybe you leave that one. But I'm kind of done by this point. Like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like the one negative thing I'd say about this, if I had to say something negative, is it's probably a little too long, which is weird because it clocks in at about an hour. Because these songs these songs are kind of short. So it's 15.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So it's 15 songs at almost an hour. It's 56 minutes. But again, cut. You can. I'm okay with this being about 45 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Coop's criticism of the I don't know if you call it a criticism or not, but I mean, yeah, you're right, Coop. Maybe it's just so jam packed with stuff that we really enjoy. When you reach a certain point, you're like, well, there's no going up from here. That's that when you hit that point in the album, you're like, well, what's the point of the rest of it?
Yeah.
And
it just kind of feels like some of the songs, like, yep, they're clutch songs. Like, when you have 15 songs and you got some standouts, but it's a lot of, yep, that's clutch songs. Like, giving it an album, track by track review, it's kind of hard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's where I'm kind of at with this. It's like, look, I love this album. I think it's a home run. It just suffers from a lack of editing. But it's still
it's a home run derby, but not every hit's going to be a home run.
Good one.
Very nice, Scoop. All right, let's hit this is the last track, and let's get out of here. This is our longest show in quite some time, Jesse. I'm sure that's part of it.
Because I'm back.
Well, you're definitely part of it, but we also, I mean, it's 15 songs. We've had some pretty lengthy discussions because we've had some shows recently that you haven't been on where Jesse and I just kind of look at each other and go, "Yep, that's a song. Next."
Bullet for My Valentine.
We're like struggling after a while to come up with stuff to talk about.
Did I at least give you an extra minute and a half of content?
About a minute and a half, yeah. All right. This is Lorelei.
I'm ready.
Yes.
He's introing the song. We're talking over him.
We're a bunch of assholes.
Motherfucker.
I think.
Hey.
There it is.
There's no wisdom I may give, only my apologies. If an answer you must have, there is a cave by the sea. You'll find the ray Methuselah, swept as the trees. Should you approach them there, I advise you do so gingerly. Love and light, trouble my water. Oh, throw myself over, rapture of soul. Love and light. Sweet Lucasa, oh my, compass is spinning and I'm somewhere from home.
All right. Overall impressions of the album, I'm going to go with an A. I can't give it an A+. I don't know. Have I given anything an A+ this year?
Yes.
What did I give an A+ to?
You gave D. Snyder's For the Love of Metal an A+. You gave Ghost's Prequel an A+. And I think that's it so far.
All right. I'm going to stick with this then. I'm going to, I'll stick to it because I really thought like Ghost, like every track was solid, and we just got finished saying there's a couple that could have been cut from this. So there's the difference between the A plus and the A for me. Solid A from Clutch. I really love this album. A lot of great elements to it. The weakest thing about it is that there's a couple of just standard Clutch sounding songs on here, which is not a bad thing. It's just a thing.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me, like, like albums from the 60s and 70s that have, like, your obvious radio hits padded by songs. Like, just standard, this is the band doing this thing songs.
Mm-hmm. I do want to just real quick touch on that last song, which I had no idea what the hell it was about. I thought it was about a girl, which it may have been. I've heard of ladies.
The story of a girl.
ladies by the name of Lorelei. But then when I
Sorry.
when I jumped into the lyrics, I noticed something strange. He calls her what I thought he was calling her was a sweet moon kisser, and that's not the case. He's actually, according to
He's calling her a fister.
He's a sweet ass fister. He's called.
What's the difference between that and a sour ass fister? Is he just like, oh God, this is the fucking worst. I told you to fucking wipe.
Like a real dumpy cottage cheese ass.
Jesse's like, I had a point once upon a time.
Cottage cheese on the inside or the outside?
Oh no! Mark on. Uh-oh. You got the gag.
Oh no!
So anyway, Lorelei. According to
You assholes.
Well, hey, we're talking enough about them.
According to the lyrics side I am on, which I hesitate to name, which is As Lyrics. Yeah, let's get back to that discussion again. As Lyrics says that he's actually saying sweet moon cusser. I was like, what the hell is a moon cusser? Well, ladies and gentlemen, a moon cusser, according to the Wiktionary, says that a moon cusser is a land-based pirate who on dark nights along dangerous coasts would demolish any legitimate lighthouses or beacons, erect a decoy signal fire in a different, deliberately misleading location, and then after having caused a shipwreck, subdue any survivors and plunder the wreckage for valuables. Now, listen to this. Guess what a Lorelei is? A Lorelei is a steep slate of rock on the right bank of the river.
Not the left bank.
Nope, not the left. It's on the right bank. So, yes. Actually, no, I'm sorry. That's an actual... Lorelei is the actual name because it says the right bank of the river Rhine in the Rhine Gorge. So, apparently, it is called... That is a large mountainous... it says 132 meters, 433 feet high. It is in Germany? Lorelei is German. It's in Germany. In St. Gorshausen, Germany.
Du-Hast.
So, there we go. Du hast me.
Du hast mich. Du hast mich gefragt. Du hast mich gefragt. Bist du this wrong?
Lorelei. Again, that was a song.
Lorelei!
You guys.
hey, I love karaoke.
Wow. So, Lorelei is a sort of song that I ended up enjoying a little bit more than I thought I would. Now, as for the album itself, so, yeah, what I should have done, Mark Radulich, is make you rank this amongst the rest of the Clutch albums. Where you put it.
Jesus motherfucking Christ.
But the thing is that we've only had, less than a week to really let this...
No, I can do this. Fuck off. All right. Ready?
Ready.
Okay. Number one is From Beale Street to Oblivion.
Okay.
Hang on. The bottom would be Strange Cousins from the West.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so everything is in between there.
Gotcha.
All right, hang on. List of Clutch albums. I want to make sure are you keeping track now?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got a spreadsheet for his spreadsheet.
I'm sure. Yes. Sheet 2. Here we go. Clutch albums.
Holy sheet.
Holy sheet 3.
All right, so after Bill Street, from Bill Street to Oblivion, I would say Blast Tyrant.
Good choice.
Then I would say Self-Titled.
Okay.
Going back to the bottom, I would say Pure Rock Fury is right before
Strange Cousins.
Strange Cousins, and then before that is Jam Room, and then before
Ugh.
and then
Go ahead.
and then before that is Elephant Riders, and then before that is Transnational. Going back to the top, what I say, so it's Beale Street, then Blast Tyrant,
Yep, and then self-titled.
then Self-Titled, then Robot Hive Exodus, then Psychic Warfare, then Earthrocker.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
That's a good list. You haven't put this one in there yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you gotta put
Just above Earthrocker.
okay, so it's not as good as Psychic Warfare, but better than Earthrocker.
Yeah,
Now, right,
I think that's solid.
if you were to move that, it would be below Earthrocker and above Transnational.
Well, I'm looking at the track listing for Psychic Warfare, and that was 12 songs, and I don't remember any of these being bad or boring or something I would cut.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll give you that. 12 songs. Shit, man. Yeah, there was a lot of great songs on there. Robot Hive I could listen to on a loop. Clutch Clutch I have listened to on a loop. I can't believe you put Elephant Riders below it. This one, though. Man, I really liked Elephant Riders. And Jam Room, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's my jam.
That's my jam.
That's my jam!
But all right, so you're saying below Earthrocker, in between Transnational. So there it is, the official Mark Radulich ranking of Clutch albums. Done, and done. So, oh yeah, guess where I'm putting it. So I have to rank it for the year, okay? And that's tough. I told you it was going to be. I almost didn't want to, because I was worried that I was going to be extremely biased. But I can set that aside, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, Clutch gets the 7th spot in the overall for the year, okay? I'm putting it above Avatar with Avatar Country and right below Ghost's prequel, which I think Ghost's prequel is a very tight, absolutely listenable album. So Clutch is right there, maybe a hair's breadth below, just because there's just a little too much, as we've said on the podcast, that could be considered
it's a little bloated,
a little long in the tooth. So, Robert Cooper,
Well, hang on, what's your number one right now?
number 1, Dee Snider's For the Love of Metal.
Okay.
So Lorelei brings back haunted memories because of Pokemon. Lorelei is the first member of the Elite Four and has Ice-type Pokemon. And here's the thing. Fire-type Pokemon beat Ice-type Pokemon. But this motherfucker, this guy right here, me, brought Flying Pokemon, weak to Ice. Grass Pokemon, weak to Ice. Ground Pokemon, weak to Ice. I got my ass ripped for like fucking five straight battles until I pulled something out of my ass. I mean, that
right
God.
there, that belongs in the book of bad decisions.
Yeah, I mean, it does. I mean, it was pretty much just like, when I beat her, it was like, that'll do, pig, that'll do.
You immediately started talking about Pokemon, and I pulled out my phone and started playing a video game.
And you know what? That game should have been Pokemon, but it wasn't, because you're not cool enough.
At least he stayed awake, Coop, for your conversation. So
That's true. That's
I've
true.
been awake.
You know
I stop that.
You know what?
Really?
Sad, though? I've been playing Pokemon for 18 years. That's not good.
Ooh.
My Pokemon career can finally vote.
You gonna give us a summation here or a review?
Give us a ranking,
I
1 to
keep
5.
rambling until you like cut me off. No, I would give this like a solid. I think I'll give it. I don't know. Give it a 4 out of 5.
Ooh, all right.
4 to 5 stars.
That is one of the
when it-
higher ones I have for you on here. So
Yeah, I don't. Well, because the way I always look at it is like 2.5 is like solid.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like 2.5 is like solid, and 2's like less than. Oh, it's like not 3's average. 2.5 is less than average. 3.5 is. So this one's a pretty good album. When it hits, it hits. It's really groovy. I like it. The songs that are there, like the ones that are just kind of there, they're not bad by any means. They're just there. Like some people are gonna love those songs, and that's cool. It's just not really. I don't really find them to be all that impressive. In terms of, I don't even know where my ranking is anymore. I just know where Finland is number 1, and it's probably gonna stick number 1 because
You were fucking stuck on that album, man.
Five out of 5 for Orphanland.
yeah, and I think is that the only 5 I gave.
It is now. I've only got you like with six rankings here. Some of them I missed. I either need to go back and listen, or we just didn't get around to ranking them when we did the podcast, which has happened.
Dude, I love. They're one of my favorite bands, and I keep coming back to that album.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we've had some really good ones. I seem to usually show up for the good ones, except for Bullet for My Valentine, where I listened to that album on mowing the lawn, and I was just like, ugh.
It's bad.
I was like, when are they gonna get heavy? And then I heard a little bit of screaming. I'm like, okay. It's sad that when I just hear a small amount of screaming, and that gets me excited. That's pretty much like a girl shows a little ankle and you get a fucking boner. That's about as desperate as you get right there.
Yeah. Real quick.
That album was
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that album was, quite frankly, a really disappointing part, and I'm just kind of interested in seeing if they can really bounce back from it. I'm sure they can, but I'm just wondering what really spurred the decision.
A desire to sell more records, and it bombed.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, they did that really dumb thing where it's like, I think I even said it in my review, where you alienate your current fan base and you don't produce something that's going to bring new people in.
Yeah.
It's just kind of dumb.
Mark, give a letter grade to Avatar Country real quick.
That was a while ago. Good luck.
B+.
All right, and then Fu Manchu's Clone of the Universe.
B.
And Coop, do you have a grade for Avatar? 1 out of 5.
No, I enjoyed Avatar.
So what's your one out of 5? What's the number?
Oh, I thought you were going to say 1 out of 5. I'm like, no, I would not get that 1 out of 5. I want to say it was a solid 3.5.
Okay. And did you listen to Fu Manchu with us?
I did not.
Okay. All right. I won't ask you about that one. All right. Good deal. All right, Mark Radulich, take us out of here.
All right, folks. This week on the Radulich and Broadcasting Network, we reviewed Snagglepuss, the Exit Stage Left of Snagglepuss Chronicles. We were supposed to review Cloak and Dagger Season 1 last night. We're not going to do it. The reason why we didn't do it last night was because my air conditioner broke, and we fled the house like Jacob. So,
It's too hot in here.
And I probably could have tried to do it at my mother-in-law's, but I was like, nope, fuck it, I don't care anymore. So we're just moving on with life. We're moving forward. Tomorrow we're going to be reviewing Insatiable Season 1. Just got renewed for a second season on Netflix. With myself, Sean Comer, possibly some other guests.
I love Sean Comer. Tell him I said hi.
This Saturday, there's going to be a pair of Screaming Boy episodes. The first Screaming Boy episode, we're gonna look at the DC Universe launch. That's their new streaming service. Myself and Ronnie Adams of the Screaming Boy podcast.
Look, Batman.
we're going to take a look at the DC Universe app and, and kind of go review it for people, kind of talk about what's on there, what's not on there, etc., what we think of it. And then
you have access to like all the DC comics, right?
Yes, allegedly, yes.
Yeah, I heard it was just going to be like a certain.
It's probably not everything. They're probably going to use algorithms to figure out what people are more than likely going to look at, and that's what'll be up there.
Oh well, I cannot wait to hear this podcast.
And then we're going to take advantage of our DC Universe membership, and we're going to do a commentary over Superman Unbound. So that's next week, so that's this Saturday, and then next week is Predator Week all week long. We got Archie versus Predator on source material, a review of The Predator on Tuesday. The Metal Hammer of Doom will be reviewing the new Corporal Cloney, and we'll have 3 Metal Hammer of Doom extras for you. All I have to say is beer, vodka, and tequila.
In Mexico,
and the
tequila and a donkey show.
The drunkiest folk metal band you've ever heard. And then Sean...
I remember the one video where we're just trying to figure out why the hell is this old man in this shack? Is he Breaking Bad? Oh, okay, go ahead.
And then finally, we'll be reviewing. We're doing an on trial for Shane Black's Predators. So that's next. So that's next week. The week after, we got some Iron Fist for you. We're looking at the Immortal Iron Fist Volume 1, the last Iron Fist story, which is the Immortal Iron Fist 1 through 6. On source material, we'll be doing a TV party for Iron Fist Season 2. On the Metal Hammer of Doom, we'll be reviewing the new Therapy, ? And that's it for next week. So that'll take us into October. So that's all that's going on. If you're looking at what we've done so far, last week we did 2 barbed wire shows, one for source material, one for On Trial, where I did my best, but the movie wasn't bad enough for me to come up with a really comical argument, and it wasn't good enough to actually defend, so that kind of fell flatter than I wanted it to, but give it a listen. Sean's argument's good for why it sucks. And then, speaking of sucks...
I mean, yeah, it's like...
It's an easy argument.
Titties. Pamela Anderson. Extreme.
And speaking of sucks, check out our review of Bullet for My Valentine. So far, no lawyers have called to take it down. And then, starting off the month of September, Jesse and I did a pair of Legion shows. We shat all over the Legion comic, and then we sat confused and bemused while reviewing Season 2 of Legion. So that's all that's all the news that's fit to print here on the Radulich Broadcasting Network. Go ahead, Coop.
Did
do
that
your plugs.
show go downhill? Because I remember hearing great shit about it.
No, Legion, it's fine. It was just a very confusing show at times. It's no Krypton.
It's visually stunning, but
was Krypton good?
It wasn't horrible.
Yeah,
I didn't mind it.
It was okay. It has.
Okay. I mean,
the ending to season 2 is kind of the ending setting up season 2 is kind of silly.
There's some good spots in Krypton, I think.
It's really hard to keep up with this shit. I wanted
Dude,
to keep
you're
up
telling
with Black
me.
Lightning,
Not for nothing.
and I really enjoyed Black Lightning, and I fell off of Black Lightning, and now I'm like, oh fuck, season 2's here. Oh well, fuck me.
Yeah, and fucking, and then you have Luke Cage, that I have not even started that second season, along with Iron Fist just dropped.
Season 47 of Arrow.
Oh, jeez.
Not for nothing, guys, but I ran my calendar for 2019 for just Tuesday shows. I don't have enough days. I don't have enough Tuesdays in the year to cover all the comic book shows and movies. I went through right now, just leaving the calendar the way it is, how many open Tuesdays I have. I have 3 open Tuesdays and 2 that I have something I could cancel if I really wanted to. And the list of shows that I don't have scheduled is 20 shows deep.
And then, if you just want to throw random bullshit in there, you can't even do that.
Well, I mean, this Thursday, it would be an example of random bullshit. It was Insatiable apparently pissed people off for no good reason. This seems like a fun show to watch and talk about. Same thing with Disenchantment. Disenchantment wasn't originally on the schedule or on a regularly scheduled day, but we shoved it in there, whether she liked it or not, and and we got it done. So. That's a rape joke, ladies and gentlemen. Anywho, But yeah, that's
You just stuck it in there, didn't you?
that's what's going to end up happening is that I'll have like stuff pretty much planned out, and then for this extra stuff, if people want to continue to talk about it, I'll have to shove it in. Like, here's the problem: I don't want to work every Thursday, so there's always Thursdays that are open to do things. I just don't want to plan every Thursday because I get tired. Marky gets tired after a while.
Getting too old for this shit.
Let Marky go to sleep on Thursdays. Sleep. Jesse needs a crab cake and Mark needs sleep.
Wow. This is ending strangely.
Yeah, it's because Robert Cooper brings the strange. Would you please do your plug, sir?
There's W2Mnet.com, Sean Garmer's site. He's my buddy. I like him. We share content. That's just scraping the bottom. Like Kevin, just like I've seen, he's just stripped all the cast and brought new people. So why plug it? It's not even the same show I was on. I mean, damn, dumpster fires. Let's see, was there anything else? The Since I Happy Go Fun Time podcast. Like I caught up on Kamen Rider. That was me watching 20 episodes in like a week, which is a record for me. And go rescue a cat. There you go. That's what I'll plug this week. And internet dating, where you can find like 5-foot tall Filipina girls with blue hair. There you go.
Hey,
Yeah, it's fun. We'll see where this one goes. It's the worst thing that could happen.
Well,
it's the worst thing I could do.
Currently watching All In on New Japan World. So that's fun. That was the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega's like pretty much their own independent wrestling pay-per-view.
We reviewed All In here on the Radulich Broadcast Network, myself and Pat Mullen.
Oh, did y'all like it?
Like some of it not so much.
Mark Radulich was really loved the fact that one girl got over that dude in the Battle Royal.
Yeah,
he loved it.
I was pissed.
Hey, that ass. Well, like that's all I'll say. That ass. And you know what? Like, I bet you her stock went up like a fucking ton. And you know what? Brian Cage's stock didn't really go down. So I think everybody won in that situation.
If his stock didn't go down, I'm fucking surprised, considering considering a goth girl that works at Hot Topic fucking beat him.
Hot Topic woman.
That is one of my favorite demographics. Fucking goth girls at Hot Topic.
Okay. Jesse, for the love of God, take us out of here.
Oh, my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, go give that Radulich in Broadcasting Network Facebook page a like to stay up on top of all the great podcasts that we have to offer. They usually end up there. When we get them done here, we post them there so you won't miss a beat. Either way, hey, just take that out of the equation. Subscribe to the podcast on all sorts of great podcast platforms. We're on Spreaker. That's where we call our home. We're on Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Blog Talk. Blog Talk what?
Fuck you, Blog Talk.
That's right, damn it. No,
Blog Talk would have cut us off on that.
Yeah, well, I mentioned the library like last hour, and our podcast would have ended back then. So let's go. We're also on Spotify. That's right. Spotify is our new platform that we have been invading. And, hey, everybody listens to Spotify, right? Well, guess what? You can subscribe to podcasts through there as well. Just go in there, type in RADULICH. Like, subscribe, do all that great stuff. I'm ready to get the hell out of here. It has been fun discussing the new Clutch album. Holy shit. I don't want to wait another 3 years. But, damn, we're probably going to have to. That's all right. We got her done tonight. Mark Radulich, take us home.
And just remember, Jesse's fucking tired of y'all toilet paper in his house. So instead, bring him some crab cakes. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, crab cake his house.
Don't step foot on my fucking property. Okay?
on your property. I
will fucking go fuzzy lumpkins all up on your ass.
All right, folks. We're Fuzzy Lumpkins, and for the returning prodigal son.
Fuzzy Lumpkins?
This has been the Metal Hammer of Doom. Be well, be safe, and behave.
Hi, my name's Ken, and I own Good Start Packaging in Bedford, New Hampshire. With my Spark Cash Card from Capital One, I earn unlimited 2% cash back on all my business purchases. And last year, that added up to $36,000 in cash back. That's right, $36,000. Thanks to that, I was able to offer healthcare to my employees. The Spark Cash Card did a lot for my business. Imagine what it could do for yours. What's in your wallet?
Real Capital One customers paid for real stories. Credit approval required.